Hello everyone, SimiCraft here, and welcome to a video where we'll be taking a look at Deathdays End, which is, from my understanding, a visual novel of some kind that might be like a Battle Royale visual novel or something. I don't know. Let's find out. That's why you're watching the video, to see the game, not to hear me talk about, well, maybe to hear me talk. Anyways, new game. Ooh. Episode 1, Aaron. Episode 2, Rex. Episode 3, Marcus. Well, I mean, I guess we'll start with episode 1. Dates. Who knows? Time? Nada. Location? Unknown. The end of our world. It's not impossible. I just thought that it would be less sudden. Meteorites raining down, doomsday cults forming, or at least some sign of the coming fall. To be fair, there probably were a few screams that night. Just none loud enough to wake me. Anyway, I'm probably getting ahead of myself, so I'll take a step back. To the first time my life started going south. Sunday, 14/16, June 14th. Aaron. Of course, back then I had no idea about anything. Hey. Aaron Grace, I'm talking to you. Huh? Don't you your mother? I know that I taught you better than that. Sorry. I was just in awe at how good your cooking is today. Keep using glides like that, I'm sure you'll become a hit with the ladies in no time. What do you think, Mary? Maybe if he paid more attention to what they were saying. Well, you've got a point there, but I think I'll let him off the hook this time. So, what were we talking about again? The big holiday. We'll all be getting some time off, so I was asking if you had any ideas on where we should go. Oh. When Father left, Mother insisted on us going away for a while to numb the pain. Several years have passed since then, and going somewhere each summer has become sort of a tradition. We could go to a theme park? Think bigger. We can't just settle on a day trip this time. Really? Then, what about going jet skiing in the mountains? That's something only you would enjoy, though. We could go camping. I saw a good spot with a beach and water park nearby. Is there really such a place? If so, then I'd say the matter's settled. Right. I can't help but smile. The truth is that the actual place we end up going doesn't matter too much to me. Mother's enthusiasm is so catching that she can brighten up even the most boring places. We can also invite your friend Alex. And the Hollows, too, if they make it back from their own trip in time. I'm sure Aureus would love it there. Don't they have Lexia to look after? That didn't stop them from visiting their relatives. Besides, I'm sure that little Lex will be strong enough to travel by then. I tried to stifle my yawn, but nothing gets past Mother's keen eyes. Bedtime already? Aaron snuck out of the house at around midnight yesterday. What are you talking about? I saw him leave when you went to bed. My sorry attempt at feigning innocence is easily thwarted thanks to Mother's piercing gaze. No wonder you look so out of it today. Well, off to bed, you. I'll hear your explanation tomorrow. Fine. I stand up and obediently head back to my room. It's kind of hard to argue when you know that you're in the wrong. Saturday. Wait, are we going back in time? I'm confused. Oh, okay, so I guess this is yesterday. Okay. So I really want to go through with this? Of course. We can't keep breaking into their home, Alex. Having a natural talent for lockpicking and being my best friend, Alex has been helping me get into the Hollow's house at night to check up on Lexia. Our friend and neighbor, Orius Hollow, had almost begged us to keep an eye on her before grudgingly leaving with his parents on their trip. Orius gave you the keys to their house because he knew that woman couldn't be trusted to look after Lex by herself. It's not breaking and entering if we have permission. Miss Hollow won't see it that way when she catches us in the act. And after the amount of close calls we've had, it's only a matter of time before that happens. We have to at least try and convince her. Alright, I guess it's worth a shot. If she'll even give us the chance to talk, that is. Alex, my man, you underestimate my social skills. If you say so. So naturally, our confrontation begins in an utter disaster. The lights inside their house are turned on, so she's definitely home. Alex Ivsy looks at us, quite clearly says, "Any bright ideas, Mr. Social Skills Expert?" Please, open up, Miss Hollow. We know you're in there. There is still no response, so I decided to try something else. Just so you know, Alex is a great lockpicker. He's going to force his door open if you don't come out within the next minute. Wait, what? Thankfully, the door opens and I'm saved from having to answer. You must have some nerve to threaten me like that. Is that how you speak to all your elders, or just me? It's just you. No. Sorry about that. Alright, time to play this like a pro. That means no losing my cool, no matter how bad she gets. Sorry about that. The lights at your house are on, so I got a little worried when nobody opened the door. Your sister's traveling abroad with Mr. Hollow and Orius, so nobody would know if something bad happened to you. I was asleep. It's quite clear that neither of us believe the other's story, but we move on to avoid an all-out argument. You'd better have a good reason for disrupting my rest, Aaron, or I'll make sure that your mother is made aware. We were just wondering how Lexia's doing. She's fine. Now, if that's all, then... Wait. I stick my foot in the doorway before she can slam the door in our faces. Can we at least see her? I know Lex isn't well, but Orius was always bringing her out to play. He said the fresh air would do her good. Well, Orius isn't here now, is he? The doctor said that the girl needs all the rest she can get, and that isn't likely to happen if you two devils keep pestering her. I don't think you're being fair, Miss Holla. Well, it's a good thing that you're not in charge of this household then. Now remove your foot from my door, or I go straight to your mother. I reluctantly back away from the doorway. Miss Hall goes back inside and slams the door shut without another word. That actually went better than I expected. Told you that it was no use. Guess it's back to plan A. Yeah, you were right. There's no convincing that woman. For some reason, you almost sound relieved. Maybe I'm just happy knowing that we've tried. Now I can go back to our old way with a clear conscience. Now we're back to Sunday. Okay. Sneaking out of the house isn't normally a problem. We all usually go to sleep quite early, but every now and then Mother works late into the night. Today is one of those days. I've been lying in bed since late evening, straining my ears for the sound of her footsteps without hearing so much as a peep. It's all past midnight now, and I'm beginning to think that I'd fallen asleep and accidentally missed her ascent when it happens. Finally. I wait until the noise dies down completely before making my move. I hate having to leave the house behind her back like this. However, I do find my mother to be a little too overprotective of me at times, even more so since Father left. I silently creep into the living room, but can only take one step towards the entry door when a cool voice suddenly calls out. Going somewhere today as well? My heart skips multiple beats as I spin around, eyes wide to see Mary emerge from the shadows behind the staircase. You look like you're in quite a hurry, Aaron. Marie! Takes a lot of willpower to keep my voice a whisper. What are you doing up so late? I'm checking to see why you're leaving the house at this time of night. No, I was, going to the baths. There's a bathroom upstairs. I would think someone living here would know that much. Fine. You got me. How long have you known? Going somewhere today as well. After hearing that, there's no doubt in my mind that Marie knows all too well about my late-night ventures. Does it matter? It's okay. You don't have to tell me where you're going if you don't want to. I won't tell Mrs. Grace either. Really? Just don't overdo it, please. I won't tell her as long as you don't show any sign that you're lacking sleep. It's bad for your health. You don't have to worry about me, you know. I know I don't. I just choose to. After saying her piece, Marie climbs the stairs back to her room, leaving almost as abruptly as she'd arrived. I'm already beyond late in meeting with Alex, so I leave without thinking about it too much. Hey, I was beginning to think you weren't coming. Sorry, I got held up. So, is everything set? Yep, the door is unlocked and the old lady is fast asleep. I haven't gone inside yet, though. Only know what I saw from the window. Nice. Well, no use standing around here anymore. Let's go. Hopefully Lex is doing okay. We find her alone and wide awake in the spare room of the Hollows household. I go over to Alexia's cradle and gently take her into my arms. Wow, Lex. Is it just me, or have you grown since the last time we saw each other? Shh. We'll be in trouble if your aunt finds us. Hey there, little buddy. What are you doing still awake? Did Miss Olive forget to feed you again? Alexia babbles knowingly and waves her tiny arms about in response. Oh, aren't you just the cutest? Come on, Aaron. Let me hold her now. What are you talking about? I've only just picked her up. Well, we don't have much time to begin with. True, but... Well... Almost as if wanting us to stop fighting over her, Alexia squirms in my arms and lets out a sharp cry. That girl again? Crap. Quick, over here. I quickly put Alexia back into her cradle and hide behind the cupboard with Alex. I'm not scared of Miss Hollow. However, I am afraid of what would happen if she caught us red-handed inside her house at the dead of night. That's the third time today. I'm not a babysitter, and yet they still managed to rope me into this. Liz, we'll be counting on you to look after Lexia while we're away, okay? They go off on their trips by themselves, expecting me to clean up after them. It's always the same. Does anyone ever ask if I want to go? Of course not. I'm just a bitter older sister they turn to when something needs doing, only to be discarded the moment I've served my use. Then there's those two brats that are always meddling with others' affairs. It's like they take pleasure in being a nuisance to others. Miss Hollow glares down at her niece for the longest time before picking her up with a disdainful sniff. I don't know why I'm bothering to tell you any of this. You care even less than the others. Lexi wraps her hand around Miss Hollow's pinky. She stopped crying the moment her aunt entered the room. Fine, I'll let you sleep with me for the night. But if I hear one more peep out of you then... Miss Hollow leaves the room with Lex, muttering dark insults about her sister on the way out. That was too close. I heard things I didn't need to hear. As much as I hate her guts, I can't help but feel just a little bad for Miss Hollow after hearing that. It's a strange feeling that I don't quite know what to do with. We should head back for today. Yeah. I don't think we have to worry about Lex. Not today, anyway. We wait until Miss Hollow is back in her room before silently tiptoeing out of the house. And we've moved forward to Monday now. Hooray. June 15th. Seeing Mother's hurt face like that before going to my room was painful. More so than I would ever admit. But I don't blame Marie for it, even though a part of me wanted to. Instead, I lie in bed for a long time and think of ways to apologize. What the? I must have fallen asleep without realizing it as my eyes snap open when a sharp blow hits the pit of my stomach. Instead of asleep, I scramble for the light switch beside my bed. My eyes adjust to light, only to find Marie standing nearby, with a strange expression on her face. What's wrong? I take a moment to compose myself. What's wrong? She's displaying an emotion that I haven't seen in years. Fear. Maria is one of the strongest people I know, so something must have happened to shake her up like this. I can't. I don't want to say. Just follow me. Please. Without another word, I get out of bed and follow her out of my room. Marie doesn't say anything on the way and looks as if she is going to be sick at any moment. That doesn't help my anxiety, which seems to grow with each step I take. It reaches its peak when I see the room she stops at. I sense that something is wrong the moment we enter. Yeah, I'll say, a visual novel background with a rendered person? Sheesh, that is a rarity. Mother! I rush over to her side at once and firmly grasp her hand. Cold as ice. Her eyes stare at me blankly, void of the life and emotion they'd shown only yesterday. I want to scream, but my throat refuses to obey. Instead, I raise one of my trembling hands to close her eyes. As I do this, my entire being feels as cold as Mother's dead corpse. Marie stands by the doorway, watching me silently while I did what I did, and I'm grateful for that. Nothing could have been said or done to make the hollowness I'm feeling right now go away. After it feels like an eternity, I turn to her and find myself able to speak again. How did this happen? I surprise myself by how calm my voice sounds. Now the shock is over, there's nothing left in me but silent rage churning inside my heart. I don't know. Someone screamed and woke me up. I had to see where it came from, and that's when I saw her like this. I'm so sorry. Maybe I could have done something if I had come earlier. No, she shouldn't blame herself. You're wrong. You shouldn't think like that. There's nothing that you could have done. But... She stops herself to regain her composure, then shakes her head. After a brief moment of silence, Marie continues with her story. I tried calling the police, but they didn't answer, so I went to your room and... beat me awake. Sorry about that. I wasn't thinking straight. When I saw that you weren't moving, I thought you might also be... I shake my head solemnly. I'd be sorry. I deserved it. I just slept through Mother's death. That alone should have sentenced me to a lot more than a little punch to the guts. Fierce is what I just thought, I give myself a punch on the cheek. What are you doing? Just pulling myself together. This isn't the time to be moping around in self-pity. We need help, and for whatever reason, the police weren't picking up. Let's go to Miss Hollow's house. I'm sure she'll know what to do. Being the bitter old woman that she is, I've never got along with the old bat, but this is hardly the time for that nonsense. Right now, anywhere is better than here, and my feelings towards the woman have changed slightly since yesterday. On our way out, a familiar face catches me off guard. Oh. Hey, Aaron, Murray. Alex? Under any other circumstance, I would have been thrilled to see him at this hour, but... sorry, this isn't a good time. My mother... It's okay. You don't have to say it. I already know. No? How? Did Bree call him too? No, she wouldn't do that without telling me first. I doubt that she even knows his number. If what she said is true, then it's probably already too late for Mrs. Grace. What are you talking about? I see, so you haven't seen it yet. Turn on the TV, channel 5. Sure thing, Alex. This better not be like The Ring or something. Hey there. I'm sure you kids are all wondering by now about the tragic deaths that have been happening around you. How do I know only kids are watching this, you ask? Easy. That's because every human above the age of 18 is in a better place. Or just plain dead, whatever floats your boat. Now, I'm sure you'll have time later on to scream things like, "I don't believe you," which will change soon enough, so let's move on. But who would do such a thing? Well, you're already looking at her. You see, I want to play a game with all of you. And I can't think of anything more annoying than dull adults interfering with our fun. So, I killed them all to make the entire world our playground. Are you scared? Angry? Maybe even excited? In any case, let the game commence! For those of you smart enough to notice your flag and turn to the right channel, congratulations! You should be seeing a map of your home right about now. Take a good long look, because the goal is for you to reach any one of the safe zones highlighted in green. My next show will air in exactly 1 week. Get to a safe zone by then, or I'm afraid you'll meet the same fate as the grown-ups. Oh, and one other thing. I do hope that none of you are scared of the dark. What the heck? I don't know when it started, but that show's been playing on repeat every 15 minutes. Saw it twice before coming here just to make sure. My mind is in a complete daze. I don't know what else to say apart from... Do you believe it? Yeah. Come outside. That should convince you. I leave the living room with dreading curiosity and open the entry door. A purplish mist-like substance flows through the air in the otherwise empty streets. The fog doesn't cause any harm or even make it harder to breathe. But I know that isn't what it was meant for. The point of it is to show that we are in her world now. For as long as the fog remains, we'd be powerless under the grip of the perpetrator. Hey, Alex. Yeah? If all the adults are dead, then that must mean the mayor. Yeah. The old man died too. I'm sorry. Alex had never known his real parents. The mayor found him as a baby one day, crying inside a trash compartment, and they've been living together ever since. It's fine. He was a tiring old coot and rarely around anyway. I've known Alex long enough to tell that this isn't what he's really thinking. It's just his own way of coping. There's time for this later. Right now, we need to leave. If what that woman said is true, then we have just about 1 week to get to the safe zone near North Terrasillian. The others are through the ocean, so that's our only option. Hold on. So you think we should just do what she told us? It's too dangerous to refuse. She killed the majority of the world population in just a few hours. Yeah, I think we should play along for now, too. She said she'll kill us all if we don't. And from everything that's happened so far, I believe her. Doing what the deranged psychopath said would never lead to anything good, however. Since I'm outnumbered, I yet can't think of a better alternative. I reluctantly nod in agreement. I guess you've got a point. First things first, though. If we're really doing this, then we'll need to prepare for the journey. Alex, could you break into the nearest supermarket for us? Sure thing. Take food, water, and anything else you think we'll need for the week. That's fine, but what about you? There's something that I need to take care of first. Meet us back here when you're done. A mutual understanding passes between us, and Alex leaves without another word. So much of... Last thing I want to do... the last thing I want is to go back there. But I know that I'll regret it for the rest of my life if I don't. Will you help me carry her? Marie nods wordlessly. Carrying Mother to our backyard isn't the hard part. It's plowing through the dirt to bury her. Dig, dig, dig. With each swing of the spade, a memory of her seems to fade away. It's as if a small voice from the deepest corner of my mind is telling me to let it go and move on. She's not coming back. What use is there in remembering someone that you'll never again speak to? Something has been building up inside me for a while now, and my heart would explode if I don't get it out of my system soon. Hey, Murray. What is it? Do you think she was still mad at me? For what happened between us yesterday? Marie stares at me for a little while before shaking her head. She wasn't mad. I told her the truth of it after you went to your room, where you went and why you did it. So, you knew? About everything? I suspected. Miss Holly complained a few times about hearing someone breaking into her house at night. Nothing was ever stolen, so there aren't many that took her seriously. After I told Mrs. Grace about my suspicion, she smiled and said, I thought it might be something like that. That boy of mine is too nice for his own good sometimes. Really? I never lie about something like this. Not to you. Thank you, Murray. You don't know how much that means to me. All of Mother's memories come rushing back to me in one fell swoop. Just like that, the ugly feeling that had built itself upon the foundation of my grief disappears. The sadness is still there, however, I don't want that feeling to go away. It would help me move forward without ever forgetting about the past. There's one more place that I want to go before meeting up with Alex. Fine, but we need to hurry. Well, we gotta get that baby, right? Clearly. Killed them all. 1 week. Her insane laughter. That woman's voice has been ringing in my mind ever since I first heard it. It got me. It got to me much more than I let on, but regardless, I have to put it out of my mind for now. Aaron and Marie have entrusted me with their lives, and I don't plan on letting either of them down. Guess this is as good a place as any to start with. Or not. I look around and search for the cause of the disturbance and notice a little girl sprawled on the ground, rubbing her forehead in pain. Judging from her surroundings, she'd most likely darted out of the nearby shopping mall in a rush, then had an unfortunate tumble into the lamppost opposite. I warily go to her side and offer her a hand up. Hey, are you okay?
What does it look like? Sorry, that was mean.
She takes my hand and I pull her up with a little difficulty.
Thank you.
No problem. So what were you running from? The girl hesitantly glances at the shopping mall she'd come out of.
Don't go in there.
Wait a minute. But she runs off without looking back. What a strange girl. I stare at the mall for a split second before my curiosity gives in. The mall happened to be one of the first places that I was planning on checking for supplies anyway. I noticed the problem almost immediately. A group of teenagers are already inside, raiding the nearest convenience store when I enter. They stop upon noticing me and then come forward in a threatening manner to size me up. But you squirts. There's nothing for you in here. There are 3 of them in total, but 2 hang back, making it clear that the guy speaking is the one in charge. Squirt? I don't think you're that much older than me. Besides, I glance over at the 3 big duffel bags that are lying in the store behind them. Haven't you guys taken enough from this place already? Ooh. Does that answer your question? The other boys snort with laughter. It's first come, first serve. No hard feelings. Taking them all on by myself probably isn't the best idea, so I give a silent nod of understanding, then turn to leave. Good riddance. I could call Aaron and Marie for backup, but really don't want it to come to that. Those kids are only trying to survive just like us, and there are plenty of other places to scavenge. You can come out now. The girl from before hesitantly approaches from behind the tree. No need to worry. I won't hurt you.
How did you know that I was there?
Let's be vague. Just a feeling. Just a feeling. Saying that I'd seen her legs move outside the tree trunk would only embarrass her.
I told you not to go, but you still went inside that place.
Telling someone not to do something without telling them why only will make them want to do it more. I'm guessing they kicked you out as well. Do you have anyone else with you? Friends or family? Come on, please say something. Otherwise I feel like I'm talking to myself.
My family's dead and I don't have any friends.
Oh. I should have figured as much by your silence. Now I've made things awkward. I'm sorry.
Why? It's not your fault. This is all because of the evil shadow lady that was on TV.
The girl looks no older than 8. Alone, she would most likely end up dying in a ditch well before the deadline's end. I'm supposed to be gathering supplies, but leaving her to fend for herself like this just isn't right. I know. Why don't you come with me to the safe zone? The girl who had mostly been staring at her feet since we met looks up in surprise.
You really mean it?
Sure. Don't you think we ought to help each other out now that the grown-ups aren't here to look after us anymore? I probably should have told you this when we first met, but I'm Alex.
My name's Saren.
Nice name. So what do you say, Saren? Will you come with me? Saren thinks for a moment, then droops her head back down as if just realizing something.
You've only just gotten here, right? All the shops in this area have already been cleared out by others. The only one left is that shopping mall those big kids are in. There's no food or anything left for you or me to take.
Really? That catches me off guard, but I don't allow myself to lose heart. Don't you worry about that. I've spent most of my life in these streets. I'm really good at finding things in places that people usually miss.
Really? Then what are we waiting for? Let's go!
Seeing that smile on Saren's face makes me feel a little guilty for lying. However, it gives me all the more reason to transform that lie into the truth. Orius had never trusted Miss Hollow to look after Lexia by herself. He'd given Alex and I the keys to their house in secret and pleaded with us to occasionally check up on her. Of course, we've been entering the house our own way without the need for keys, because being caught by Miss Hollow with them would make trouble for Orius too. That being said, there isn't much point in breaking and entering now, so I have no qualms about going inside the normal way. Marie is less willing this time around, though I still managed to convince her to help me with Miss Hollow's burial. No matter what she may have been like when she was alive, I just can't bring myself to hate her anymore. I then search the house from top to bottom, and a wave of relief washes over me when I find who I'm looking for, fast asleep and unhurt. I pick Lex up and tuck her safely into my arms. Just seeing her peaceful, oblivious face in a dire situation like this is enough to bring a smile to my face. There. You'll be safe with me. The doctor said that she's not fit to be traveling long distances. That's why her parents left her with Miss Hollow when they went on their trip. There's no other option, Marie. Miss Hollow's gone, her parents are gone, Dorius isn't here right now. I tried calling him multiple times on the way here with no luck. The fact that Orius hadn't so much as texted about the well-being of his sister led me to believe that the fog outside was somehow messing with the phone reception.
Exactly. If that's the case, then it might be better to leave her be.
Probably not a good idea to start punching people in this situation. We'll just go with, I'm not letting her die. I'm not letting her die! Not like Mother.
Aaron, tell me something. How many other babies and children do you think are going to die because of what happened to their parents? We can't save everyone. You must know that.
That's something I don't want to think about. However, I can't let her get to me. I know I can't save everyone, but I can save it. I can at least do my best to help those closest to me. Besides, Orius would never forgive me if I just up and abandoned his sister.
Fine. There are probably going to be things much worse than that fog out there. So just make sure that you don't die because of her.
No.
I'll make sure you don't.
Oh. Of course, our commotion is enough to wake up Lexia. I'm expecting her to start wailing at any moment. Instead, she starts laughing. You sure are one strange baby.
We better get going. Your friend will be back soon. We should clean out all our homes for food and anything else that might be useful before we meet.
He has a name. Though she does have a point. I grab Lexia's milk bottle from the nearby desk and feed her a little while leaving the room. I didn't like how Marie phrased her last words about Lex, but let it pass. So much had been thrust onto us today that even I might have said or done some things I didn't mean.
See, I knew it. There's nothing left for us anywhere, just like I thought.
It's too soon to give up. There's still a few places that we haven't checked yet. I say there's more to give in to myself than Saren. The best we could find was some rope, a butter knife, and the odd chocolate bar or two. Nothing that would last. At her insistence, Saren and I had even split up for a while to cover more ground. However, that only resulted in more bad news.
We could try that shopping mall again.
What are you talking about? That gang of teenagers is in there. They probably already wiped the place clean and left by now.
They haven't.
Huh?
When I went in for the first time, I heard them talking about camping out in the mall until morning. Those people are still in there with lots of food and water.
So you're saying that we should go back and try to take it by force?
That's right. I know there's more of them than us, and I'm just a little girl, but I can't think of any other way.
Maybe I can catch those kids off guard and take the supplies if I really tried. Thing is, I don't want to do it that way.
I know it's bad, but we'll both starve otherwise.
If we just up and take everything from them, then they'll be the ones to starve. Look, Sarah, I know that we haven't found anything worthwhile yet, but I know this area like the back of my mind. There are a lot of rundown places around that only a few people know about.
Why don't we take a break? We've been going in circles for ages, and it might help us think of more places.
Sure, that's fine. To be honest, I had just been about to suggest the same. We decided to go to a nearby cafe that we'd come across in our search. All of the windows are shut tight, and the entry door hasn't been opened too many times, so it feels as if the fog doesn't exist in here. Almost feels like a normal day, don't you think?
Really? It's past bedtime already, and I don't think a cafe would be open at this hour.
Don't sort the details. You're pretty smart for your age, Saren. Saren suddenly starts twiddling her fingers and stares at her feet. What's wrong?
Can I ask you something? You don't have to answer, Buds.
No need to be so formal. Go ahead and ask me anything you want.
Is there anyone you know that's still alive, or...
Nah, it's not like that. I had been planning on keeping it a secret for the time being, but don't have the heart to lie to her again. A few of my friends are still alive. They just have something important to take care of first, so we split up to save time.
More important than gathering supplies?
You could say that.
I see. Can we really find supplies for you, me, and your friends without going back to that shopping mall?
I should have known that's what she was really getting at. We're not going to steal their food!
I don't think it counts as stealing. Those bullies didn't own anything in that place to begin with.
Look, I know this looks bad, but believe me when I say this. Things will work out. I guarantee it. If worst came to worst, we come back empty-handed, then I can only hope Aaron and Marie have the foresight to take the food from our houses before it gets stolen. It alone would probably only last a day or two for all of us, but we'd have to make do until we found more.
Okay, I'll trust you.
Thank you. Seeing the smile pop back on her face so quickly makes me feel strangely sad. There isn't anyone you know that's still alive, is there?
I already told you that there isn't. My parents and I only recently moved into this area, so I never got the chance to make any friends my age. I haven't even started school yet. Not that I ever will now.
I see. That would explain why I've never seen her around before today. Listen up, sir.
Huh?
The normal world might have ended, and you might not be able to go to school anymore. But that doesn't mean you can't have friends.
It doesn't?
Of course not. After all, we'll be going to the safe zone together, right? Doesn't that kind of already make us friends? Saren's eyes start to sparkle, and I begin to wonder if I'd gone too far. Instead, I'm caught completely off guard as she rushes forward and wraps her tiny arms into a fierce hug around my waist.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you so much for trying so hard to help someone like me.
I, didn't do much.
Anyone else would have just left me alone, but not you.
That's not... It really wasn't. I mean... This is too awkward for me. I can't believe that I'm being outspoken by a grade schooler. Saren finally lets go, and I breathe a sigh of relief. Please give me warning next time. I don't think my heart can take another.
Hugs are nice. They make me feel warm and fuzzy on the inside. You don't like them?
That's not, well... I shake my head to clear my mind. I think we've had enough of a break. Are you ready to go?
Wait, I need to go tinkle first.
What was that?
I said that I need to go to the bathroom first.
Sure, go ahead. It's in the back, first door on the right. I've been to this cafe a couple times before, so I know it quite well. Saren gives a dignified nod and then makes her way to it. Thinking that this would be a good time for me to go too, I make my way over to the men's restroom. I return to the table a couple of minutes later. While waiting for Saren, my eyes fall into our shallow supply bag. I stare absent-mindedly at its contents for a second before the slow realization dawns upon me. I grab the bag frantically and turn it upside down, making the food come tumbling out. No, 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 no. Without sparing another second, I make a beeline toward the counter, praying to God that I'm just overthinking this. Halfway there, a loud crash comes out of the girls' bathroom and echoes throughout the building. Oh, don't let it happen. Don't let it happen. Don't let it happen. I keep mumbling these words to myself with every step I take, but in the cruel nightmare that this world has become, prayer alone would never be enough. Her arms and legs are cloaked in darkness. However, the moonlit window, enveloped in purple fog, makes the sight in front of me as clear as day. The rope. Why? If only I'd noticed it missing sooner. Not only that, think about it now. There were other signs too. That fake smile on her face. the small voice she used when saying where she wanted to go. She kept bringing up the shopping mall, thinking that it was our only option. And all I ever did was refuse. Now it's all over for her. The girl that couldn't live past the age of 10. I didn't know her well, not having even known her last name, but seeing Saren in this state is more painful than finding the mayor's lifeless body in his office. At least the mayor had been in bed when it happened, asleep and at peace as he died. I take a shallow breath and force myself to look away from her. An old, broken ladder lay directly below her, most likely having been the cause of the loud crash. I'm sorry, Saren. I wanted to at least bring you down. No, I can't even do that. Unable to do much else, I managed one more look at Saren before leaving. Well, that's just delightful. Why do I always have to pick the depressing visual novels? Rain. How appropriate. I stay outside for a while, allowing the water droplets to cool my mind and prepare me for what I'm about to do. Thought of seeing that horrific sight again, but with Erin or Marie in her place, was enough to convince me. There's still time to ask them for help, but I won't allow myself to do that. I don't want any other friends to have to suffer because of me. Alright. Well, here goes nothing. With that cry, I pummel my fists together and head into the shopping mall. Just as Saren had mentioned, the gang of teens from before are still inside. All three of them are loitering about near a drugstore when the blonde one notices me. Well, look what the cash ragged in. Didn't I give you enough of a beating last time, you little runts? I'm only half listening. My attention is mainly focused on the duffel bags scattered behind them. There were only 3 before, but that number has now increased to 5. Can you guys even carry all of that? Looks like you haven't gotten the message yet. The boy turns to his friends. Quicker than I can move, the largest one of the 3 charges at me and strikes my face with relentless force. I stumble backwards but manage to hold my ground. There's no need for this. We can help each other. If you share what you have, then I can... I guess we let you off too easy the last time. The 3 thugs approach and surround me from all directions, backing me into a corner. Won't make the same mistake again. You're not leaving this time until I hear some bones cracking. And I've got no other choice but to use Plan B. The big lug throws a second punch at me, but this time I duck and slide beneath his leg. Arthur! Daz, he's over there! Ugh! Sorry, I really didn't want to come to this. I grab one of the duffel bags and scram before any of them realize what had happened. What the hell are you idiots waiting for? After him! Where you go? The little punk deftly ran into this restaurant right after we cornered him near the end of the mall. You all know we can't afford to lose even one of those bags. Not if we want everyone back home to survive. Kids at the orphanage were mainly toddlers, most of them still cowering onto their bed sheets when we left. I won't back down. Not now, not ever. Des, come here and check this out. Matt's voice echoes from the kitchen. You found him? Yeah, he's in the cellar. I crack my knuckles, put on my most aggressive face, and head into the kitchen. Cold and ruthless is the way I need to be. Otherwise, we'd lose it all. What's with this dump? The cellar is so dusty and barren that even rats would have a hard time finding a home. Are you sure he's down here? I definitely heard someone move, and the cellar door was already open when we came into the kitchen.
There's nowhere else for that punk to go.
The shelves near the back suddenly wobble, and the sound of a frightened gasp comes out from behind it. I turn to it curiously while Matt goes to check it out. The big guy's face grimaces as he pulls out a childish wind-up toy from behind. The handle's tied to a thin piece of thread which passes through a narrow crack near the ceiling. No! I turn to race back up the staircase, but the trap was already set. The trapdoor shuts and locks itself with a bang, leaving me with nothing to do but yell and uselessly pound on it open. I just about managed to crawl out of the ventilation shaft in time to close the trapdoor. That takes care of that. I had personally cut through the toy store on my way here to snag the thread and wind-up toy. Everything went just as planned, and yet knowing that doesn't cheer me up in the slightest. If anything, hearing the voices of those kids raging at me from down below only makes me feel worse. I decide to leave the duffel bag that I had taken from them near the trapdoor before leaving the restaurant. Leaving them with nothing is plain cruel, especially when there's still plenty of other supplies to choose from near the entrance. Hope it doesn't take them too long to find the kitchen knife that I'd hidden under the creaky floorboard. It was no key, but good enough to cut through that kind of lock.
Quickly, we have to hurry.
What?
They'll be back soon. This bag, ooh, it's really heavy. I ran to Tracy's side and helped her lift the duffel bag, gritting my teeth to stop myself from gasping in pain. The cover of darkness had been a great help in faking my death. Unfortunately, the process of tying my hands to the window ledge on the wall left severe bruising around my wrists. I could still feel my hands twitching oddly as I helped Tracy lift the bag, but now isn't the time to worry about something like that. Everything hinges on Alex being able to distract those brutes long enough for us to get away. It doesn't matter which of them come out on top of their tussle, as long as we leave before they come back. How did you know that boy would come here and distract them for us? I guess I'm just good at that sort of thing. Penny, being the strongest girl that she is, picks up one of the 4 bags with most ease. Tracy and I manage to lift the second bag, and Thomas just about manages with the 3rd. Gary's reaching out for the 4th bag when he appears at the end of the hallway. We exchange looks of disbelief within the span of a microsecond, then react at the same time.
Saren! What are you? How?
Let's go! Gary frantically rushes forward to grab the last bag, but I put my arm out to stop him. Leave that one.
Are you sure? But...
Please, there's no time to argue. Just help carry the ones we have. I give them a gentle push, and the 5 of us scramble out of the shopping area before Alex can so much as move.
Hey, wait a minute! Instead of chasing after them, I lean against the wall and try to make sense of everything. She got me real good. Maybe I should be angry for being completely and utterly fooled. However, the relief and amazement flooding inside me right now is so overpowering. Is overpowering just about everything else. Saren's devious and intricate scheme makes my little trick with the wind-up toy look like some childish joke. Yet thinking about it now, the state of that bathroom does make more sense. As far as I know, bathrooms don't normally have ladders in them. For it to conveniently fall and break at exactly the right time. Of course, at the time, I was in too much of shock for any kind of rational thinking. Saren probably foresaw as much when coming up with her plan. How such a little girl could pull all that off is beyond me. I'm just glad knowing that she's alive and isn't by herself anymore. More than likely, she never was. She has enough provisions for herself and her friends, so I don't have much to worry about. That girl can take care of herself. On that thought, I look around in search of the bag that had been left behind. Whether it was out of kindness or her rush to get away, I'm grateful to Saren for leaving it behind. I check its contents and stuff my own backpack inside it before heading out with a satisfied smile. Strangely enough, everything worked out in the end. I never planned on taking one of the duffel bags. Got like a little baby cam up there now. Alex, where are you? You've been lying in wait at the meeting point for close to an hour now, and I was beginning to worry a little. We should get going soon. He might have left without us. No way! He'll definitely be back. How can you be so sure? Trust me on this. He probably just got held up somewhere. So we continue waiting in silence. Brilliant. Rain, just what we needed. Another half an hour passes by with Alex still nowhere in sight. Mary hasn't said a word since her question, but I can tell what she's thinking. I'm about to suggest that I go look for him when someone races in from across the street. Alex? Your face? Are you okay? What took you? Alex's face is covered in bruises and soot, and yet, despite his exhaustion and lateness, he somehow looks pleased with himself. Sorry for the wait. The shopping area was already full of kids scavenging the place when I got there. Kids? Yeah, almost every shop I checked was already or in the middle of being ransacked. That means the reason you're hurt is because... Sorry, I should have come with you. Don't be. You didn't know. He pulls out a duffel bag and shows us its contents. I did manage to get some food and water after all. Nice. Great work, man.
Thanks for your help.
Don't mention it. Marie and I took what was left in our houses. There wasn't much, but with everything combined, I think we'll be good for the week. Awesome. Great thinking.
Looks like we're ready to go.
Hold on a sec. I have something else for you too. Alex hands Marie a knife. And a hatchet to me. Is that like our inventory? Oh, darn. Log. There's no telling what else that mystery one will throw at us. Great. Oh wait, no, that's what's happening now. It's not much, but it's better than nothing if we run into any trouble along the way. There's no telling what else that mystery one will throw at us. I don't like it, but accept the weapon anyway, knowing that Alex is right. I can't afford to think about just myself anymore. Thanks, Alex. And about Lexia. Alex grins down at the youngest member of our group, who'd fallen asleep in my arms while waiting. Don't you worry about Lex. I swiped some baby formula and disposable diapers too. Everyone was mainly after the food, so there was plenty of that stuff around. I smile relieved that he doesn't have the same reaction as Marie. Not only that, but he'd also known beforehand what I planned on doing and packed in advance. He really is the bestest friend a guy can ask for. Now, if there's nothing else, then let's go. Right. The three of us go to the car park, and I unlock Miss Hollow's car using the keys that I'd swiped on the way out of her house. Mother has a car too, but using hers now would only bring back painful memories. I'm still learning to drive, so technically don't have a license yet. Not that it matters anymore. There's nobody left to enforce those rules. It isn't long before I start the engine and drive us away from our homes. The more I drive away, the more certain I become that we'd never again return there. Aaron, Grace, episode 1, end. Okay. Well then, I suppose that's a decent spot to end this first look here at, what was this called again? Darkest... Deathdays End, which is an interesting visual novel here. Some fascinating premise. I mean, it's probably been done before somewhere else, but it's certainly not an oversaturated genre. And I'm curious to see where it's going. It's definitely taking a very dark and cynical approach to this thing, which I guess is kind of makes sense given it's, I guess, technically post-apocalyptic. And yeah, it does interesting things. I like how we're getting a lot of different POV characters, which is something that a lot of times you don't necessarily see too much in visual novels. Normally it sticks to one, or from what I've seen, most of the time it sticks to one for almost the entire thing. Maybe I'm completely off base on that, I don't know. I'm not an expert necessarily. But that is interesting, and the twists and turns I wasn't necessarily expecting. Twists and double twists and stuff, and I'm curious to see where the plot goes. It's not the highest production value visual novel. I mean, the logo is in just blatantly in papyrus, so there's that. But from a storyline perspective, which, I mean, let's be honest, is the meat of these things, I like the idea, I like the dynamics, and I'm curious to see where this is going. And if you guys are curious as well, then make sure to show your support with likes, comments, subscriptions, and stuff, and we very well could continue. But otherwise, guys, until next time, I have been Simicraft, and I'll catch you in the next video, whether more Deathdays End or something else. Goodbye.